And here's one hack that I've never heard anybody talk about before. Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're covering tips, tricks, install techniques, and one super hack for the WeBoost cell phone signal booster. The last thing I want to let you guys know is that this is non-sponsored information. I did pay full price. Nobody gave me anything or any kind of discounts for the products that I'm talking about today. Let's get into it. The kit that I want to talk about today is the Drive Reach OTR Fleet. This is basically their top of the line setup. The receiver has the most power to the antenna, which increases your cell phone reception. Now, big misconception with a WeBoost, and I think one of the reasons that a lot of people return them, is because they're not actually set up correctly. The cell phone signal booster can only work if there's actually a cell phone signal to be found. So if there's zero signal, then there's no ability for the cell phone signal booster to grab any signal and boost your reception. But it works really well with Verizon. I haven't noticed any spotty service, and the only thing that it can do is occasionally it gets interference, and so I have to restart the system. So the Drive Reach OTR Fleet has several major differences that make it a class above all of the other WeBoost systems out there. The first thing is going to be the antenna. The antenna has a reach between 17 and 45 inches. That means you can make it tall enough to reach above your cab, your rooftop tent, or for me, my four-wheel camper. The next thing that makes this different than the other WeBoost systems is going to be the base unit itself. Drive Reach OTR Fleet has up to 70% more reach than the Drive X OTR Fleet. And a lot of the reach stuff depends on the actual power output of your unit. The Drive X Fleet OTR uses 2.5 amps, whereas the Drive Reach OTR Fleet uses 4.5 amps. And that power output really means how capable they're going to be at grabbing signal. And if you're finding value in this video so far, please go ahead and tap the thumbs up. The next key difference between the X and the Reach are going to be the bands that they use. So the Reach has an extra band that it can use to grab signal from the air to give you cell phone signal. As far as the antennas are basically identical, and the transmitters are basically identical. The big difference between the two are the unit boxes themselves, how much power output they use, and their ability to grab signal out of the sky. Now, when you look at the other WeBoost Drive systems, you're going to notice really tiny antennas. Those are the ones that you kind of want to stay away from, because those antennas aren't going to be as capable as the big gnarly Fleet style antenna. And the Fleet style antenna is going to give you that much extra reach, especially when you can adjust that antenna to the correct size to get it above your vehicle and tent or whatever else it may be. So these are the most common mistakes that I see people making. They either don't have their antenna high enough over the top of their stuff, which interferes with the wave signal that it's trying to capture from the cell tower. The second one is going to be they have their transmitter too close to their antenna. On the instruction manual, it recommends about an 8-foot distance between the transmitter and the antenna. So if you don't have an 8-foot distance, they can interfere with each other, blocking the cell signal or interfering the cell signal just enough to where it's not as powerful as it would be if you had them appropriately separated. The next reason why people think that system may not work would be because they're too far away from the transmitter. The transmitter from the box says a good distance is between 18 and 36 inches. So if you're further away than 36 inches, it really makes the drive system less functional to use. That means for optimal performance, it's best to put it in a center location inside of the vehicle. Previously, we've tried 3 other mounts for that. We tried the rigid straight mount that came in the package, and we also tried a Comet CB folding mount, but I found that the Comet one would bend. The only one that really held up to the test of time and durability and trail ruggedness is the Rhino Rack folding CB mount, which is, I think, one of the best ones out there. The only thing that I really noticed with that is a little bit of rust on the spring. I think it's just coated steel. The next tip and trick that I have for you is to actually zip tie the wire going back into the cab or wherever you have, if you have it going from the outside to the inside. In some fashion, it needs to be secured to either your rack, bedside, or whatever you have, because that little cord, if it gets caught by a branch, it's gonna get torn out, and then it's gonna be a really sad day. And here's one hack that I've never heard anybody talk about before. So a long time ago, we bought a Wilson system for our home. We bought it because we have stucco siding and we couldn't get a cell phone signal out to save our lives. And it came with one of those really big transmitters. The transmitter with the RV system is capable of producing a signal that goes further. If we previously had 36 inches that the transmitter worked with, we would now have roughly 35 to 45 feet. Now, one of the reasons they say it's best for an RV use is because they feel that you can have the antenna far enough away from the transmitter to make it work. But in our case, inside of the vehicle, I've noticed that having the antenna about 10 feet away from the transmitter works just as fine. I haven't noticed any interference, but it has allowed us to be able to have a boosted cell phone signal when we're away from the vehicle or inside the camper or out by the campfire. And it's just made it that much more versatile than, well, much more versatile than ever before. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you being here. I'm Austin with WolfPac-Outdoors. I will howl at you later.